Welcome back to Rebel Ants Radio. This is the live video podcast for the NFT projects behind Rebel Ants. And we sort of do this build in public thing where we share what's going on with our process of building. And we also like to talk about things happening in the news. We are built on the three pillars of transparency, education, and supporting the community. And I am joined tonight, as always, by my co-host, co-founder, co-pilot, Miguel. Miguel, how are you tonight?
I'm good, man. I had an extremely good day yesterday and last night with my friends. So definitely a really good feeling today. So,
Yeah. Good.
so here I am drinking
You're
my
here.
lemonade. I am here.
Yeah, we've got 4 people joining us, so thanks for donating some time to us on your Sunday evenings. If you're in the same time zone-ish as us, go ahead, hit like on that YouTube video, hit subscribe on the YouTube channel. We need your dollars, and we appreciate you joining us. You can head over to rebelants.io to mint a Rebel Ant, or you can head over to jeremypets.com and mint a free NFT of a Jeremy Pet. Miguel, we have a packed show tonight. We have a packed show. And as I said at the beginning, we're built on these 3 pillars of transparency, education, and supporting the community. But part of the transparency thing is not just doxing ourselves and putting our names out there, but it's also talking about our journey as creators in this NFT space and also as humans. And part of that journey is not always so pretty, right?
Yeah, it's not always pretty. So I really wanted to have some sort of segment. I think I texted you last week about mental health issues and stuff like that. So I really wanted to talk about it. And, we really want to hit on that today. So, mental health, let's start by understanding what mental health really is, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about the absence of mental disorders. It's about our overall psychological well-being. This includes how we feel about ourselves, how we cope with difficulties of life, and our ability to feel and express a range of emotions, Now, there are common mental health issues that many people experience, like depression and anxiety. These aren't just moments of feeling sad or worried. They're serious conditions that can, really significantly impact someone's life. But, remember, these are also treatable. So a lot of
Yeah.
people don't know how to seek treatment for a lot of mental health disorders. They're just, especially in men, like men don't really, we don't really talk about it,
Yeah.
um, and this brings me to a crucial point. Seeking help, there's often a stigma around it, but it's so important to understand that getting help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Therapy, counseling, and sometimes medication can make a world of difference. Like, let's use my own personal struggle. So I deal with depression and anxiety, and I have a lot of mental health issues. Thankfully, I have my doctor. Shout out to him, Dr. Pan, who has helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm in a better mental spot now. But I struggle with depression and mental health issues and anxiety, and to the point that there was a lot of times where I wasn't even being creative at all. Like I shut myself down. I don't talk to anybody. I kind of shut the world off. And it's a struggle. It was an everyday struggle, and you kind of feel like a zombie, right? And it's like you're walking and you're doing your routines every day like a robot, but yet you're really not mentally there. It's just like you're just on autopilot, just going, you know.
Yeah. When did you what made you take that step to say, okay, I need help, I need to go see a doctor?
Friends and family, you kind of like see when you're struggling like that, you kind of see that you're shutting yourself out. Some people
Right.
see it, some people don't, so it's kind of difficult, right? But I saw it, and I just decided to get some help, just to talk about it with my doctor. And it was funny because he gave me a test of depression. They give you like this test where you score from 1 to 10, and I
Mhm.
scored an 11.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, I scored an 11. So it was pretty bad. But I saw him a couple days ago, and we did the same exact test, and I scored 3 this time. So
Wow, that's huge.
yeah, huge difference. So I feel a lot better. So I really want people to know that there is help out there, and they can get some help. I actually lost a friend last week to mental health, dealing with depression. He killed himself. So I really don't want people to think that there is no help out there. There actually is help out there. Seek out, talk to someone. Um, it's very important for us to like really get the word out there. Let's encourage each other to talk more openly about mental health. Just like our physical health, it's something we should all feel comfortable discussing and seeking help
Yeah,
for.
for sure.
Taking care of mental health is a daily practice. Simple things, just like exercising, eating healthy, good sleep, that all that stuff can make a really big difference. And you know what's funny? All three of those things I really don't do, but I'm getting better at it. All right.
Yeah.
I do have to exercise a little more. I am eating a little healthier, and the sleep is getting better. So, much better. Hopefully, I can score a 0 next time.
Yeah. Well, your jawline looks great. You're definitely losing some weight,
Yeah,
and
you like that? Do I look sexy?
you look sexy. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you.
I am sorry to hear about your loss, and I was, I felt badly, hearing from you when it was happening, and as you and I were talking about it. That's no joke, right? And so I've got up on the screen the website for 988lifeline.org, which is the suicide and crisis lifeline. It's free. It's available 24/7 if anyone ever feels like they don't have someone to talk to and they are considering harming themselves or in a crisis. They should definitely call 988 from any phone, right? That's like 911. It's the 988. So we encourage people to seek that help.
Yeah. You know what it is that, for example, like suicide rate in men has skyrocketed. And I think that a lot of the reason why too is because we are so into like, hey, we're men. We're not going to show our
Right.
emotions or our feelings. And, we keep it bottled up inside so much that, we explode. And then that's basically what happens. Like it just takes a wrong turn. So, men out there, I really encourage them to like really seek some help that are going through stuff. There's thousands and thousands of posts everywhere on IG, all through social media. Sometimes they get buried, but they're there, of how to seek help and who to talk to. So I highly encourage people to do that are going through something.
Yeah, it reminds me of a guest we've had on a couple of times, Eric Rhodes, artist and creator Eric Rhodes. He's very open about his mental health struggles, and he posted something just recently. I was trying to pull it up, but he talked about that on the show with us and talked about just being open about it, right? And how there is that stigma associated with it, and there shouldn't be, and especially in this realm of being an artist in the NFT space, this completely, or it's so digitally focused that it's easy to get lost, it's easy to get overwhelmed. You have so much intake, right? You have so much intake around you to compare yourself against, or you get this feedback that maybe is in a way that somebody wouldn't say something to your face, but they feel comfortable saying it online, and that's a lot to juggle. And
Yeah.
It's super important to be able to make sure you're taking care of your health, your mental health, like you talked about. And if you feel the need to seek help, whether it's a doctor, a friend, 988, just looking for those options to seek that help or find someone to talk to.
Yeah. What really bothered me was that a week ago I was talking to my friend who passed away, right? And he wanted to see me. So when it first happened, I felt like maybe I could have done something to prevent it.
Right.
Maybe I could have talked to him. Maybe I could have, I don't know, who knows? Maybe there was something that I could have said. Maybe he just was reaching out to talk to me. And then as I kept talking to like my other friends and stuff like that, like even my doctor, he's like, when people are feeling that way, there's really not much you can do. Like there's nothing you could do. So, it was hard for me to deal with it the first couple of days because in my mind, I kept thinking like maybe I could have done something.
Yeah.
But the reality is that maybe I possibly couldn't have done anything. Maybe he was just reaching out to say goodbye, or his final talk with whoever, he was talking to on that week. I don't know. I don't know what was going through his head.
Yeah, it's hard to know, and it's hard to know if you could have done something to change that.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of the importance of touching base with those that you care about, someone you haven't spoken to in a while. They may be in a great place, but it's still worth reaching out and just saying hi every once in a while, right? Nothing is easier than sending a text these days. So don't forget to say hi to the people in your life that you do care about.
Very true.
Yeah. Good. Well, I think it's a great topic, an important topic that we should continue to talk about. And our DMs are open. If anyone wants to reach out to us, if anyone wants to chat, hit us up. We're here, and it's a part of our lives that we need to be mindful of. Right? It's not something to put on the back burner. Like you said, it's just as important as our physical health.
Yeah, you can't really put mental health on the back burner. It's nowadays is very important, especially with the stress of life.
Yeah. Yeah. As we were preparing for this show, I just kind of Googled, NFTs and mental health. And of course, there's a whole bunch of articles, but I found something here from Forbes, actually. This was from July 22, so a little while back, but just talking about this idea that we spend so much time digitally, and it's easy to get lost in that community. And don't forget that there's a real world out there as well, right? So learning how to disconnect is also really healthy and helpful sometimes, and kind of step away. We have complete control to just, I'd like to think we have more control to just step away instead of exposing ourselves to those things. So,
right,
just another reminder as an option to better yourself if you feel overwhelmed by what's going on online. Maybe take a break.
Yeah, it's funny because I spent almost 2 years in this autopilot form of depression, and it's something that I can't tell you why, right? I think it was just the stress of life that happened, but at the same time, like, now that I look back at it, I can see myself how robotic I was. Wake up, go to work, do what I needed to do at work, come back home, watch TV, go to bed. You know what I mean? Wake up, do it again the next day. It was just, it's like a blur. Like the last 2 years, it was just like a blur. You just very robotic, so definitely reach out to your doctor. Definitely reach out to that 988 number if you need help. If you want to talk to us, our DMs are open, like Kevin said. And yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. This week online was very, very busy with tweets and farming for PortalCoin. Did you get to see some of this PortalCoin stuff?
I saw some stuff. I didn't really get into it. I did see Casey Montero speaking about it, or asking like, what's this PortalCoin stuff? But I didn't really get into it or what it was. Did you do some research on it?
I did, because it was everywhere, and it was a topic on a lot of shows that I watch or listen to. And I was like, okay, this is interesting because it's working, because it's going viral. It was, basically farming for for a future airdrop based on your Twitter engagement. So I've got a few links here to share. So let's bring up on our screen. We'll start with an article from nftnow.com titled "Exclusive Interview: Unraveling the PortalCoin Phenomenon." And this was from November 29th. It goes on to say, unless you've been under a rock for the last week, you've likely noticed a curious trend across crypto Twitter: PortalCoin. This token, which claims on its X account that it will onboard the first billion gamers into Web3, says it was built with Layer 0 Labs, an omnichannel interoperability protocol. None of that appears to matter to the boisterous crew of degens that are farming the upcoming $ Portal token, which, according to them, will launch in a few weeks after several week-long farming sessions. So this first season was 1 week of farming. And the game is called Crystal Dash. So that's kind of this process. It's called Crystal Dash. So you earn points by making content about PortalCoin. Whether you make memes, write text posts, or share or reply to another grinder's post, you'll get points that increase your level. Once you get a few levels in, you'll start getting rewarded with crystal shards. Shards can be fused for crystals, and crystals will be tradable for your Portal airdrop in a few weeks. So
interesting.
There is some monetary return here. There's a few interesting aspects about this, but PortalCoin is backed by, like it says, it was built with Layer 0 Labs, and it's connected to, I think, the Creepers NFT project, all part of the same company, and is intended to be used as this gaming currency. So there's, many games out there in the Web3 space, but PortalCoin is trying to be an interoperable coin, so you can use it as currency within multiple games, right? This makes a lot of sense for being a Web3 thing. So they're trying to set this protocol. There's a post from them that I thought got a lot of traction. So I was like, okay, this is crazy. This post from them says Portal airdrop farming is live only at crystal-co, and it has 7 million views. That's a lot for
Wow, that is a
NFT
lot.
related things. Yeah, 7 million views. And their website, it's a cool website, portalgaming.com. You scroll down, you got this nice zoom in for the picture here. Web3 gaming for everyone, gaming unleashed, any player, any game. And I think it goes on to show some of the games that they have. Yeah, so they've just got this long marquee of games, 200 plus games that are going to be backed by PortalCoin. Now, PortalCoin hasn't actually gone live yet. This is the farming for it, and it's interesting to think this is free. It's essentially free, other than your time, to do this farming, and they've gone viral, right? They've achieved this attention by rewarding people by having Twitter content. So when you go to the website, you can sign up, you connect your wallet, and you don't connect your wallet, you connect your Twitter account or your X account, and this way they can track what your engagement is when you post about PortalCoin. So it's asking for engagement, likes, retweets, comments, whatever it is. There's some tightrope walking here, because you don't want to get blocked on Twitter for looking like you're a bot if you're only posting about this, right? So there was a lot of people saying, here's the strategy: make it every fourth post about PortalCoin, or make a post about anything and just put PortalCoin in there. That way it's getting some engagement. So it really got the attention of a lot of people. If you look on the thumbnail of this video, I just took a few snippets of people that were just constantly posting, like and engage with this post, or here's my current level. So it was just really aggressive farming for this first week. I'm curious to see if this holds up over the coming weeks, because they haven't really been clear about when the drop is. So I think they're just going to kind of keep pushing for people to keep this engagement going. What were some of the posts that you saw?
I just saw a post just saying what it was. Like, people just asking, like, is it legit? Is it not legit? Who's behind it? Who's not behind it? Who created it? Etc. Those kind of things. Like, I didn't really get into it. And I know when you asked me either earlier today or yesterday, I don't remember when exactly, but I didn't really look into it either. Like, I don't know. I wasn't interested. I mean, now that you're showing me what it is exactly, maybe I get a little bit more interested into it and see exactly what it is. But
yeah,
I don't know.
As season 2 is coming up, it's a chance for us to jump in where we didn't jump in. It was so annoying. That's why I didn't want to partake in it. So now I'm a little torn. It's like, okay, this is just interesting to be a part of. We don't have a gigantic following, so I don't think we'll level up as high as some other people, but you can still do it. So I've pulled up one of their posts called How to Play. Earning Portal points is simple. Just engage with us on Twitter or X. Portal points equals $ Portal tokens to be claimed or airdropped. By earning points, you move up levels. Each level reached earns you shards. You will be able to combine your shards into crystals, and the number of crystals decides how much Portal you will be able to claim. So you can earn Portal through two things: engaging with specific Portal tweets by liking, replying, or quoting, and by mentioning @PortalCoin in original tweets. The more engagement these tweets get, the more points you earn. All points will be earned automatically through our Twitter monitoring. And then they break down what happens if you get a view, if you get likes, if you get replies, if you get reposts, if you get quotes. So, every piece of engagement, there's a different level to it. And I don't know that this is entirely new, but it seems to be working with them. I think they've already had a bit of an audience to begin with, but they've really gotten the attention of some big players. So I think that's what's impressive to me is, where is this going to go? They've gotten a lot of engagement off of this. They've definitely gone viral with this, but what's the retention on this? How much tolerance is there before people think this is just shit posting and spam? And I know people that put filters on their timeline to say block anything that's @PortalCoin or #PortalCoin. So, where's this balance of the market's acceptance for it?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought at first too. That it was just people shit posting, but then as I kept seeing more and more posts just asking about it, and then I saw KC where he was like, "What is this token thing or whatever?" And I think he kept like asking information for it, and then I think that he started using it. So I'm not 100% sure like how legit or who he spoke to or what exactly happened, but
yeah, he was.
Maybe we should get into it.
He was summoning the power of the Saints of LA for engagement, for retweets and likes. And I wanted to participate, right? I want to look like a good community member, but I'm like, oh, this seems so dirty. But I guess he got a really high level. I think he was in the 90s or something last he posted. But the farming ended at some point today. I saw people posting like 1 hour left. So we'll see what happens as people get their rewards for that, and as we go into season 2, if it's any more or less. But there's free money at the end of this, and I think people will do a lot for that. Of course, your time is not free, but that's the trade-off for this. You don't have to pay anything to earn something. So maybe you'll see some posts coming out of Rebel Ants that are grimy as hell.
Hey, that's how we get attention.
That's how we get attention, right? What can I tell you? Maybe the Saints will support us too. Maybe you can summon all the communities that you are a holder of, which are a lot of the blue chips, which we'll get into that in a little bit. I wanted to share the process for the NFTNYC application that I went through, because I know we had talked about last week was a big focus about how you got selected for the artists gallery at the upcoming NFTNYC in April in New York City. And I was going to buy a ticket, but then you sent me a link to speaker applications, right? So I was like, oh, maybe I could give a presentation on something, right? Maybe get a free ticket out of it, save $600.
Yeah.
But I thought it'd be interesting just to put our names out there and see what happens. And that's kind of what we've always done, right? Is just put ourselves out there. So the last 4 days I've been working on this presentation and just kind of not sure where to take it. But the guidelines they give you is, it's a 10-minute presentation. It should be 10 slides, and there should only be 10 words on every slide. So I'm like, okay, this is really confining. But what have I got to say about anything? But then I was like, well, maybe that's the whole point. I've got nothing to say about anything. I'm a nobody. So
your presentation was really good, I gotta say.
You liked it?
I did like it. Yeah.
So let me pull up the presentation. Actually, the application, I'll show you what I wrote, because it's a little self-deprecating, which is really my style. So I put the application in, and the description, I kept changing it, right? Originally, when I sent it to you, it was just called like how to survive, or how to keep going when nobody cares, right?
Yeah.
But then I went to OpenAI and I said, okay, like give me some titles for a presentation about this. And it dropped the word imposter syndrome, or the phrase imposter syndrome. So I was like, oh, maybe that's really what this is, right? Maybe that's the focus of this, and maybe that's a better topic that somebody will be more interested in learning about. So I went with the OpenAI suggestion of minting confidence, navigating imposter syndrome in the NFT realm, and I added as a nobody, as a little tongue-in-cheek, as a little comedy, but also to reference back to that as a nobody. So the description, I'd originally sent you a very long description, but I realized that's probably not appropriate for a description of a talk. So I really parsed it down. I don't know if that's the right word. So here's what it says now. Making money isn't the only way to measure success in the NFT space. So don't abandon your project just because you didn't sell out or go viral. You belong here as much as anyone else. One of the most appealing parts of the NFT space is the lack of barriers to entry. No one asks permission to start their NFT, podcast, or newsletter, and no one can stop you from pursuing your goals. As the co-founder of the Rebel Ants NFT project that minted less than 1% of its supply, a host of Rebel Ants radio video podcast with barely any audience and no training in the Web3 space, I push on every day, and so should you, because you never know what tomorrow holds. So that's the description that I put in there. I think it's a good baseline that I have nothing to teach you about anything, but swing by if you want.
We do have about 1,000 subscribers, Kevin.
We do, but not much of we don't get as much traction in terms of the downloads or the watches, right? So that's an area I'd love to see move up. But then it asked for a quotable message, so I wrote, there is growth and empowerment when you keep going on your own terms, and you never know what tomorrow holds when you continue to put yourself out there. And then under additional notes, I wrote, please see notes on slides for my preliminary talking points. I'm open to feedback on any parts I provided. So my partner, Miguel, has already been selected to have his art featured in the artist gallery. And as a very unknown project, Rebel Ants, it would be really powerful to show that both he and I are able to be recognized as the little guys by this well-established, incredible conference. Thanks for your consideration. So I do think that'd be pretty cool if we both got selected to.
That would be pretty awesome.
To have a present.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
How old is this picture you got up here?
I think it's like right before COVID.
Oh.
Why?
All right. I have no comments.
It's like 3.5 years old, maybe
You look
4
really
years.
different there.
Do I? It's
You
just
look
got more
really young.
hair
You do.
and less weight,
It
more jawline, more hair.
does. Got a chiseled jawline there. Look at you. Like
Yeah,
a movie
once upon a
star.
time. Once upon a time. And then under, they wanted a bio, right? So I was just telling you before we went live how confusing it is with my name, which we've talked about, the Kevin versus the Kevyn.
Yeah.
So I wrote co-founder of Rebel Ants. Kevin Levine is the co-founder of Rebel Ants, an NFT project built on the pillars of transparency, education, and supporting the community. Kevin also hosts Rebel Ants Radio, a video podcast, along with his co-founder, friend, and artist, Miguel. Kevin is widely unknown due to the lack of traction on both his NFT or podcast, and that's what makes his perspective so relatable.
That is pretty funny.
So
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to hit the right way, but I wanted to just kind of walk through the presentation because I added a little subtitle to the subtitle, which was
you added humor. People like that.
That's what I'm hoping, right? So this was the presentation. They have a link to a Google slide, and let me tell you, I'm pretty good with PowerPoint. As I was trying to navigate Google Slides, I realized I know nothing about Google Slides. I felt so stupid. And my kids use Google Slides for their projects in school. Like that's kind of the norm these days for school is to use Google Slides. And I was like, damn, like I don't know any of this. Like I couldn't achieve the things I wanted to that I would think would be very simple or translatable from PowerPoint. And I was like, God, I felt so stupid.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I use PowerPoint at work all the time.
Yeah, I use PowerPoint every day for work.
Google Slides, too different.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I added another subtitle in here, told through the visuals of Jack Butcher. Now, I did that for two reasons. One, I'd seen a Jack Butcher visual a while back that made me kind of think about, or that I was reminded of when thinking about this idea of imposter syndrome, or like keep going. And two, everybody loves Jack Butcher, so maybe this will kind of like help move things along, right? Like maybe there's an interesting aspect to that. So Jack Butcher, before he did all the NFT stuff, he had this series of visuals, right? These very simple concepts, these very complex concepts explained through very simple visuals, which I've always been very drawn to. So I included a different one on each slide. So looking at the first slide here, the idea is that the presentation would start with, you've never heard of me, and for good reason, right? I don't know how to do marketing. I don't have a large following. I'm not the best at anything. And by most standards, I'm a failure. So that's my speech. But then the picture I chose it's called Failure is Feedback, right? So there's always like the name of the picture and then the subtitle that comes from his description, which is operating with all the assumption that you'll get something right the first time you try is not only unrealistic, but incredibly counterproductive. And then next slide starts to talk about the imposter syndrome, right? So every time we go live on our podcast to talk about NFTs in our project, I feel like a total fraud. What the hell do I have to say about the news that hasn't already been said before? What can we teach people about starting a project when we've had so little traction? I felt and still feel like a total imposter, right? So these words will kind of float in. And then the picture I chose was frame. Which says failure is the frame, not the picture, right? So maybe it's okay to zoom out, right? And when you zoom out, then you'll realize, okay, maybe it took a while to start to go up, right? Maybe we had to go down or stay low before we go up. And I think that's important to consider through this. The next picture was up only, which is just about experience, right? Because anything you do is building experience. And that's where I wanted to highlight the benefits that we've had from doing this, right? So for me, I've learned, about podcast producing, live streaming, website design and development, public speaking and interview skills, and networking. So I think there is the positive, regardless of the traction, we've still achieved a lot. We've still learned a lot through this. Talking about shoot your shot, I wanted to kind of show the exchange we had with Tony Dofat, because I think that was just a really cool example where, hey, we're the little guys and we're reaching out to a Grammy winner to say, hey, do you want to come on our show? And he said yes. For whatever reason, he said yes. And that turned out to be really cool, because then there's another tweet behind this one where he's posting saying, hey, check us out. So it just kind of goes to show, if you're not a shitty person, you can get some connections here.
Yeah.
And then next slide says, I'm a 4-time marathon runner, which is true. But just kind of says like, hey, I never thought I was going to run a marathon to win it, right? Most people don't run a marathon thinking they're going to win. So it doesn't mean you have to start an NFT project thinking you're going to be the best at it, or you're going to have the highest floor price. Like, that's not why you should start anything, whether it's a newsletter, a podcast, whatever it is. So I think that mindset's important. And reframe. So just kind of this one was the hardest for me to come up with a good visual for, but I ended up going with this one where we're talking about our toilet thoughts, because I'm just saying, okay, we're not trying to be Bored Ape Yacht Club. We're not trying to be Rug Radio or these other, more well-known. We're just trying to be us. And once we realize that we just want to be us, it's felt better, I think, to me at least, right? So something as silly as toilet thoughts, right? So, okay, we're not attracting investors with talking about our toilet thoughts, but that's something that you and I have had fun doing. So you know what? That's just who we are now. We talk about our toilet thoughts.
That's it. I love them.
And then talking about finding the wins, right? So like, what can we celebrate, right? You and I get excited when our YouTube subscriber count goes up by 1. And so this is a good time to remind everyone, hit that subscribe button. And then finding a partner, right? So I think it's helpful to find a partner. You and I have been doing this together for over a year, but there's a lot of benefits of having a partner. And I think if somebody doesn't have an immediate person in their life to go to say, hey, let's do something together, I think there's enough other solo people out there that you could probably find someone with a similar passion as you. And there's a lot of benefits to that. And then this idea of just keep going. So whatever you're doing, if you need to feel better about it, like, keep learning about it. You have to keep refining that skill. And there's a million things out there to help you with that for free. So just keep doing it. If you keep doing it, you'll get better at it no matter what, right? And so the visual for that is learning. Learning is like climbing an infinite ladder. Every new experience or new piece of information you encounter unveils the next few rungs. So maybe you get really good at Figma for website design, but then you end up being able to use that skill elsewhere, right? So like, you just have to keep using those skills and learning new things to become more confident and better at it, to better showcase yourself and make yourself more attractive for whatever that purpose is. And then lastly, in conclusion, this is the keep going. I know we just said keep going over here, but now I'm using keep going as the visual. I didn't want to keep the same visual as the name, but this one is called keep going. And Jack has even said that this visual is probably the one that resonates the most with people. And the subtitle here is, oh man, I left the letter off there. That's okay. It's hard to know to what degree what you're doing right now is contributing to what you'll be doing in the future, right? So I think that's really what you and I are all about. It's like, this podcast today, who knows what it'll look like in a year from now, or the skills we're learning, what they'll look like in a year from now. So let's just keep going, right? Let's just keep doing what we're doing. And that's my TED Talk.
Very good. Love it.
Yeah.
Submit it.
I did submit it. And
you did already?
Yeah, I submitted already. And then the comment for this is, because maybe you'll get your art displayed here at NFTNYC like my partner Miguel, or you'll be presenting on stage even as a nobody. So I really tie it back in together as a nobody.
I love it.
There we go. So I don't know what'll happen, but I'm excited. And I've done a lot of public speaking for work, right? So I'm not afraid to stand on a stage in a room of 2 people or 200 people. But I think it'll be cool either way to get to do something like that.
Yeah, I did one at work a few years ago. It was like 1,200 people. It was a little scary.
Yes, I think the biggest audience I had was about that for an awards banquet at my hotel in New York City, where we had 1,000 employees and they all had like +1. So I don't know how many people were actually there, but I had this whole performance, and I had this, not like a performance, but like I had like a skit going on, and I had some video. And so it was a lot of putting me out of my comfort zone, but that's how you grow. So I'm glad I got to do that.
Absolutely.
Cool.
What we got next?
There's a lot of green going on today. Let's call it price go up, which we'll come back to.
A lot of green today.
So big day, because Bitcoin passed 40,000 for the first time in a while.
Exciting.
And that's great. Hold on. Let's update our segment here. So Bitcoin is looking real good right now. It's flying. ETH is going in the right direction. A lot of altcoins are going in the right direction. And a lot of projects are doing incredibly well right now. So let's just quickly look at coin market cap and just kind of see what's happening here. Let's get a refresh. And Bitcoin's at 40,700. So it might hit 41,000 by the end of the show.
Wow.
That's crazy, huh?
Let's go. I want to retire.
Yes. I want I want your Bitcoin funds as our Bitcoin funds so we can retire. Yeah, and we talked about Sol looking good too. Sol's at 64. That's up. When you look at the 7-day across some of these, it's just really impressive, right? 11% up for Sol, 8.5% up for Bitcoin. Which the bigger the number, the bigger the percentage has more weight to it. So this is really moving in the right direction. And as we've talked about Q4 and that December mark, things seem to happen. There was some more news on the ETF for Bitcoin saying it might be approved in January.
Tomorrow. They were talking about tomorrow.
Oh, really? I saw early January, like the 7th to the 15th or something like that. So I guess we'll see. And the result of that, who knows, right? That'll be really incredible.
Yeah.
So lots of good stuff happening there. But then one of the biggest projects, the biggest breakout project is Pudgy Penguins. Over the last, first of all, in one day, it's up 27, almost 28%. In 7 days, it's up 67.6%. And this is one of the biggest projects. So to think about jumping that much in 7 days is incredible. So now the floor price is 10.4. People were getting excited about breaking 8. And then I saw it break 8. And then I looked like the next day, I was like, oh, it's at 10 now. That was yesterday, and this morning I checked, I was like, wow, it's at 10. I did not expect that kind of jump. And Pudgy, they've got some other things going on, right? They had a bigger collaboration with Walmart. They were on the front page of Walmart for some of their new releases for the holiday. They just hit 1 million followers on Instagram, which really just speaks to the organic growth of it, right? This is way beyond a NFT project at this point.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And they've got a partnership coming up with Noun Project, I think.
Yeah, look at all the little Pudgies behind me.
And then Little Pudgy, let's see. Little Pudgy is sitting at, let's see what their floor is.
That's our Little Pudgy.
This is ours collectively. So if you die, I get it, right?
That's right.
Say yes. Okay, so so you paid 0.189 for this Pudgy maybe 6 months ago, right? I don't
remember when I purchased it.
Yeah, and now the floor is 0.98, which it dipped above 1 earlier today. So that's like a 5x on this purchase. So I think somebody looks at a Pudgy Penguin and says, okay, I don't have $20,000 to spend on this, but I could put 1 ETH into something, right? That looks like it's got some promise. And I think that's why this is trailing behind it. And this also has a much bigger supply, right? Pudgy Penguins has 8,888. The little Pudgies has like 20,000 or something, right?
Yeah. Somebody offered me today like 3,000 for it.
Yeah, I think it might actually have more than that. How many do they have? Does it say here? I don't know. I'm on blur.io. I'm trying not to use OpenSea anymore, but there are some things about Blur I just don't appreciate yet. I'll tell you my biggest frustration. When you're on the homepage of Blur, right down here, Pudgy Penguins, second project listed. I want to click this and go to Pudgy Penguins. That's why I clicked it, right?
Yeah.
What happens when I click it?
Nothing.
When I click it, it just brings up the banner for that. That's not what I want. I don't want to have to click this and then click View Collection. That's ridiculous. I want to click Pudgy Penguins and go to Pudgy Penguins. Now, if this up here wants to rotate to showcase different projects on its own, great. But once I click something, I obviously want to go to it.
Yeah.
I obviously want to go to it. Now I have to View Collection. I mean, what is this, 1997? I don't know why I said that.
Maybe you should go do their website for them.
I might. Speaking of which, did you see my tweet to OpenSea?
I did see it.
Yeah, they have a link to, I don't know, some news, maybe this week in the Web3 news, but it's not mobile responsive. It doesn't fit on your phone screen. Like, how crazy are you? How do you think people are reading your news? Like, what blog isn't mobile friendly? Jesus Christ, OpenSea, get your shit together.
We need a new segment, Kevin's rant.
Yeah. But things
what really grinds our gears.
Yeah, you know what grinds my gears? So we can also look at doodles real fast. You bought this doodle. You bought our doodle, right? My doodle. Yeah. You bought my doodle for 1.65, and the floor price now is 2.3. So that's
doubled.
That's double. So that's looking good too. And something interesting happened with the Saints, because last night I was getting ready for bed and I saw the floor price, which just kept dropping to 0.7 something, and I had Oh, 0.07. I had 0.074 in my wallet. Like, that's how much I have in my wallet. 0.074. And the floor price was 0.073. So it's like, maybe I have enough to get one more. Like, let's just do it right now, right? The prices, the floor's been dropping. Maybe I'll, dollar cost average in, get a lower one. Maybe I'll have one to sell. And I just didn't have enough in my wallet to make it because of the gas prices. So even though I had like enough ETH, I didn't have enough because of the gas. So I missed it. The next morning I wake up, I'm like, damn, the floor price jumped back up to like 0.11. So overnight, you can see here in one day, it's up 57%, 57, 58%. So KC, the founder, was dropping some alpha in the Twitter group. And I was like, oh, I'm getting some FOMO. I might need another one because I wouldn't want to sell the one I have, but I wouldn't mind getting another and then, maybe having one to sell. But now it's just been climbing up. So even that's pretty impressive in one day to go up 57%.
Yeah, I bought 2 of those bad boys, especially the one behind us right now.
I know. Yeah, you did. I got to get another one. I'll eventually get another one, but I feel good about being a saint. I feel better each day about being a saint.
I agree.
Now, speaking of price go up, I was listening to a podcast the other week, and the host was just saying, hey, all people care about is price go up, price go up, price go up. And I was like, that's like a pretty common term that we use. I wonder if that's available as a ETH domain, right? It's like .eth. So I looked and I was like, oh, wow, price go up .eth is available. Why would that be available? And it looks like it had expired in April. Someone had it and didn't renew it. So I was like, oh, maybe I should buy this. I don't know what to do with it, but I was like, let me at least get it, right? I have a bunch of website domains sitting around every year that I just renew for no reason, some really dumb ones. But I was like, let me get an ETH domain, and maybe this one, because it's such a common term, maybe it'll be able to be sold for something else. So I went on to the ENS domains site, and for like $30, $37, I was able to grab pricegoUp.eth. And now I feel good. What was interesting to think about was it's based on an ETH cost. So I did 2 years. So I set a reminder for myself in 2 years from now to renew this. But then I was thinking, well, what if ETH is like $5,000 in 2 years? Like, the cost of this is going to be much more to renew. So when you buy it, they're like, they're encouraging you to buy it for longer periods. They're like, buy it for 20 years. I'm like, all right, that's a bit much. But I got it for 2. But now I'm thinking, maybe I should have done it for more, because if the cost goes up, the renewal cost is going to be crazy on this thing.
I think you should have gotten it for a lot more, for sure.
Well, I can actually extend it now. So maybe I'll do that just to preserve it a little bit more. I certainly don't want to let it expire.
I would do it.
Because, this is digital real estate, right? That's what .coms are. That's what .ios are. That's digital real estate. And there's only one of them. And the .eth is probably the most common in the crypto space. So if anybody wants to send me money for now, they can send it to pricegoUp.eth. But I do like that name. Do you agree that that's like a common term in our
it is.
world?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so like whoever let it lapse, you're an idiot, and thank you. Boom.
Maybe they just forgot.
That's irresponsible and negligent.
Maybe they have a ton of other domains that they're just saving on the side.
That's true. Yes. Miguel, you sent me a link to an article about an EthBoy Sale, which is the name of a painting, which for some reason...
Yeah, isn't this crazy?
Yeah, but for some reason the picture in the main picture of the article is not the picture in discussion. The picture in discussion is this one. It's Jester one. So anyway, you want to give me a little overview on this one?
Just look at the picture.
There you go. Someone just bought the EthBoy NFT artwork by Trevor Jones and a lot of money for 200 ETH.
So 200 ETH.
Yeah. I mean, that's, like it says here, that's like $400,000.
But just look at the picture again.
Yeah, it's Vitalik as a jester with ETH logos painted on the jester's outfit.
Yeah, that's funny. You know what would be even funnier? If it's Vitalik himself who bought this thing.
You know what? I guess it could be, right? I like that it shows there's money still out there, even for silly things.
I wouldn't put it past Vitalik to like buy his own thing like this.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
I don't know if it says who bought it. But one of the comments from the article from coinlive.com says, "Array of optimism in the NFT market. This substantial sale injects a glimmer of hope into the somewhat sluggish NFT ecosystem, showcasing the enduring appeal of unique digital art and the intricate economic and cultural layers of the NFT marketplace." And that really hits home to me because I think the culture, right, like doing it for the culture, is such a common thing that we hear, right? Like that's why CryptoPunks is what it is, for the culture. Nobody
Yeah.
would have looked at that art 10 years ago and said, yeah, that's amazing art. Like it's not about that. It's about the cultural representation and resonance for what that is and what it was at the time. So much of our space is just about understanding and respecting the culture.
CryptoPunks, love them.
Love them. There was
He's right
another
behind me.
story. Say again?
I said he's right behind me.
Yes. Good for you. I can't wait to have half of that also. I saw an article about Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo,
I saw this. Yeah.
famous soccer player, if not, top 2 famous soccer players in the world, facing $1 billion class action lawsuit after promoting Binance NFTs. So he had his own drop around the World Cup back in 2022. And, Binance has been facing some other issues recently. But the article from AP News goes on to say Portuguese soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo has been hit with class action lawsuits seeking at least $1 billion in damages for his role in promoting cryptocurrency-related non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, issued by the beleaguered cryptocurrency exchange Binance. Lawsuit filed in federal court in Southern District of Florida alleges that Ronaldo's promotion of Binance was deceptive and unlawful. Evidence now reveals that Binance's fraud was only able to reach such heights through the offer and sale of unregistered securities, with the willing help and assistance of some of the wealthiest, powerful, and recognized organizations and celebrities across the globe, just like the defendant, Ronaldo. We saw things like this with FTX as well, right?
Yeah.
FTX went under, and there was a lot of celebrities who had endorsed that. I don't know when they're going to get scared off of getting behind these things. Maybe it's this lag, right? This was done last year. A lot of the FTX issues happened last year. But I think people are going to get scared from promoting these things in the near future or being associated with them, right?
Yeah.
And
Let me ask you something, right?
Huh?
Let me ask you something. What's the difference of one of these people promoting a crypto or an NFT? Is it much of a difference of a commercial from like McDonald's?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how different this is from other things, other than there's not this ask to give money, like to invest money, and I think that's where the SEC comes in, right? Like when you buy a hamburger, you're not investing money with McDonald's when you buy a hamburger, but these digital items are still looked at as these security or holdings that are really just meant to accrue value, whereas a hamburger is not. So I think that gray area, like you're even talking about, is what's going to scare people away from being able to associate with it. And I don't know how you resolve that, right? Because even the government doesn't know where it stands on these things. So how could a celebrity who's just being told, "Hey, we'll give you money if you post a tweet about an NFT project," right?
Yeah.
So if the government doesn't know, how is a celebrity who's completely detached supposed to know when someone's just coming to them saying, "Hey, I think you should do this deal"?
The problem too is that the SEC too they have no clarity still,
right?
At all, zero.
Yeah, it's scary, uncharted times right now, and
Gary Gensler needs to go. That's
he keeps being reprimanded by courts for being an idiot and changing his mind or lying. He doesn't seem to be doing a good job. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Miguel. Gino time.
Artist of the week.
Artist of the week. Who do we have? Great question. First and foremost, where's our video? Okay, have you ever heard of Bryan Brinkman?
Brinkman, I have, yes.
Oh, good. I've got his twitter.com/Bryan Brinkman, Bryan with a Y, Bryan, pulled up here. He's at Bryan Brinkman. He describes himself as a digital pop artist, and he's rather successful in what he does, right? So we're not breaking any grounds here. We're not dropping any alpha. He's already very well known. But I came across this
He is
stuff
very well.
recently, and I loved all of it. What was so cool to me about his collection of art is like it varies across so many different styles, and all
Yeah.
of it are like, yeah, that works. Like he was just doing such a good job. So his x.com profile says he's based in New York, and he's an advisor on a couple of projects. He's a co-owner of the Super Shiba Club, and he has a link to his website, bryanbrinkman.com. And when I went to visit that, I clicked on digital art, and there's, a similar color palette across this, but different styles, which I thought was really cool. So this is like the one that really caught my attention. It's like this, digital bear walking, but every frame is a different layout of the bear. So it's just so these different versions of it that make it look like it's walking. Even some of them just say the word bear as the bear. And I just love it. And what's cool is it's on top of like this, montage. I don't know if that's the right word.
It's like a map behind it.
Yeah, so it's like newspaper articles behind it that talks about, the bear market, NFTs sales are flattening. So it's kind of like, some tongue in cheek there, but it's like this mixed media of this vibrant, rotating set of images on top of this really faded newspaper.
Yeah, I like it.
So I just love the contrast there. So he's got a lot of great pieces for display here. And I think in some of his own posts, he's saying, I haven't done many one-of-ones recently, but all these images are just so cool. And like I said, some of them are just slightly different from the main set of images. And so that style, I think, is just great that he's so agile to be able to do different things. This one I thought was really cool. A dancing skeleton, but it looks like chalk, right? It's just chalk.
Yeah.
A dancing
I've seen
skeleton.
that somewhere else too. I've seen that posted a couple times somewhere else.
You have? I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
So I'd say if you're looking for some inspiration or just something to say like that's dope, go check out Bryan Brinkman, and let's reach out to him. Maybe he wants to hang with us for an hour or so and just kind of talk about his journey, because he's clearly doing it right, and I think we have a lot to learn from him.
Yeah, let's reach out.
Yeah. Well, Miguel, that brings me to the end of the tabs I have open.
Now we're at 53 minutes. Pretty good.
53 minutes. And I think we covered a lot today. So I told you I didn't think we'd have enough time, actually, but we're coming up on that 1 hour mark. I feel good about that. I thank our listeners and watchers for making it through all the way here. And don't forget to give us a like or subscribe. You can listen on your favorite podcast player. And we invite you to leave a comment. Let us know what your favorite story was. Let us know if you had any thoughts or feelings to the first segment about mental health. And we will keep you updated on if I get accepted into NFTNYC as a speaker. I feel like they would look at that application like, all right, this underdog really needs something. We want to represent the little guys here. So
I know I have a really good feeling about it.
Me too. Miguel, have a great evening, and I will talk to you soon.
Have a really good evening, buddy. Good night, everybody. Peace.